Alright, that was maybe the longest day of all time. I need some way to unwind. No. I guess Monday Night Football's on.
Captain Fear. Doing the gritty.
Look, thanks for trying, Joe Buck, but my brain is totally fried. I need two things at once, minimum, to stay entertained. Maybe if, they could put The Simpsons on Monday Night Football, I could watch that. You know, if they had, Homer and he was throwing the ball and oh God, I sound so stupid right now. I think I'm just gonna go to bed.
And welcome to an elaborate dream where Bart and Homer are in the NFL somehow.
No way.
Homer Simpson out there at quarterback.
Oh my God, this Simpsons football.
Hello, and welcome to my channel if you're new. This is where I like to talk about the most important topics related to pro football, like all of these weird altcasts that every broadcaster is dumping resources into. I talk about the NFL, but this is not just an NFL thing. These have been popping up everywhere.
There goes Goofy! Straight to the rack!
In the past, if you heard the term alternate broadcast, you'd think different language, or maybe even a multicast like NFL Red Zone.
No, senor! No, senor! No, senor!
But not anymore. Altcasts are now a totally unique genre, where you take sports and package it in something viewers already like. A sports gateway drug, dealt to children by Goofy.
Straight to the rack!
So every league is in on the trend, but you know the NFL has to be the most aggressive. Animated casts for the kids, video game overlays for the teens, analytics for the nerds, SpongeBob, LeBron, Barack Obama, whatever this is.
Go! Yes!
Corey, turn to the side!
Turn to the side, Corey!
Turn. More.
Do they even know there's a game on?
What's happening in the game right now, Garrett?
Just a lot of stuff is happening.
If a live feed of someone rolling jars of Orbeez down the stairs had a chance to increase ratings, one of these companies would greenlight it. But whoa, hold on. Are any of these even good? Does anyone like them? Because sometimes this revolutionary trend of the future thing is actually just a very, very expensive mistake.
Oh my gosh!
Today, I want to get us some answers. But in order to do that, that means we got to go back to the start of this whole craze and figure out how we ended up here.
Oh, there's Russ Wilson. That's not what he wanted to cook.
This is where it all began.
There it is.
AR, we got the trophy right here. Mitch Trubisky is the winner.
I remember when everyone was ready for this to be an absolute train wreck of an idea. In some ways, it still shouldn't work, but Nickelodeon has nailed one thing from the start. Football is boring, especially for children. I mean, 3 hours of incomplete passes and insurance ads? When do they get the rocket launchers? So if you actually want kids to enjoy football for its own sake, you're gonna need to explain all of its annoying little rules in a way that kids can relate to, and still keep inventing ways to toss little visual marshmallows in the air.
All right, check this out. Listen, you gotta jump on them cookies when they're on there. It's like Santa when he comes down the chimney.
The unsung heavy lifters for these broadcasts are Nate Burleson and Noah Eagle, who are just genuinely good commentators. And you can argue their job is way harder than a normal call.
Kids at home, have you ever got in trouble? This is what the Broncos are in right now.
That pair had been involved with every Nick broadcast until 2024 Wildcard Weekend, where Eagle was absent. And while it was still good, all that chaos is just so much funnier when he's the straight man.
Big call on the field. Santa is grittying anyway, but the interception will not stand.
The one guiding principle of the NICKELODEON that makes it work is no acknowledgement of the NFL's self-seriousness. Main broadcast, you can pretend the Cowboys are very important, very respected. Over here, we're gonna compare Ezekiel Elliott and Sonic the Hedgehog. Not to mention, under all that slime is real broadcasting innovation. They did the first altcast for a Super Bowl fully set in Bikini Bottom, with the voice actors for SpongeBob and Patrick calling a game in character. Sure, it's not something I personally seek out. I mean, it isn't for me. But there's no question why this exists. High quality, crystal clear target audience, S-tier altcast. It can literally only get worse.
He just canned it right there. Those are two plays I just caught. I cannot.
helmet doesn't fit.
Shocking that a helmet doesn't fit you.
On the surface, the MANNINGCAST has all the makings of a great idea. 2 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks who are brothers talking football. Sells itself, right? But the reason the MANNINGCAST became an overnight success really has more to do with the fact that they're just naturally hilarious.
Look at our ref here. Look at Cleat here in the boys' medium shirt. He just pointed to it. Look how tight my shirt is. I don't like having a co-host that knows as much as I do about coverage. I need a co-host that knows nothing about defensive coverage, like Joe Buck.
With essentially no restrictions, the Mannings are free to do all the things I talked about wishing Tom Brady could do on his calls. Able to really get into the weeds of what makes a play work, or not having to hide when bad football makes them physically ill.
Right there. Oh, throw it away. Throw it away. Throw it away. Oh, no. Baker. Just be smart and try to get a field goal here. Let's be smart. Oh, no. Oh, my God. And because they've had it, throw it away. Get out of bounds. No. Jeez. Oh.
Seeing Derek Carr throw a pass so awful it hurts Peyton Manning's feelings is enough to make this work, but the MANNINGCAST also kind of doubles as a late-night talk show with as many as 1 guest per quarter in the past. This has created a ton of great viral moments, but it also comes with the same trappings of every other late-night show, where inevitably some of the guests are just going to be there to promote something.
So what this book does is it gives you certain kind of tools how to become more successful, it's visualizing your goals better and, making certain sacrifices.
There's been talk of a ratings slide for the MANNINGCAST now that they're 4 seasons in and the novelty's gone, but to their credit, they have shown a willingness to try and find that sweet spot. This past year had Bill Belichick as the guest for every first half before switching to others, and that gives me some optimism they'll continue to try and hone what makes the MANNINGCAST great, which is ball knowledge and siblings annoying each other.
You got to check to the pass, all right? Yeah, I got it. Here we go. Dice left, 19.
Hey, watch your blitz zero. Watch your blitz
shut
zero
up!
also.
I got it!
Is it perfect? I mean, of course not, but there's a reason that it's lasted for this long. So I'm going to put the MANNINGCAST in the A tier.
Let's go to Peyton. He's going to break down that touchdown. I can't hear shit. Never mind.
Thanks so much, Peyton. I can take it from here. What he was trying to say is that this video is sponsored by Bear Mattress. Bear specializes in fiberglass-free premium mattresses that fit your personal needs, and then they deliver it right to your door with free shipping in the US. I took their sleep quiz to determine the right fit for me personally, since everybody's needs change based on whether you like sleeping on your side or stomach. Maybe you sleep standing up like a horse. You probably don't need a mattress if that's the case. I personally got the Star Hybrid. It's got gel foam and individually cased coils. But look, you go take the quiz yourself, figure out what you like. My mattress shipped super quickly, so I've had it for a couple weeks now, and it really is great. Ridiculously easy to set up out of the box, stays cool. My dog is literally sleeping on it right now as I record this. I mean, shoot, I'd be happy to let you try it out, take a little nap real quick. I just don't really like having strangers in my house. If you sleep hot like me, Bear's mattresses use Salient-powered fabric to help whole body heat so you stay cool. Bear doesn't use any potentially damaging fiberglass materials or harmful chemicals that can off-gas during the night. That's great because I think I'm all set on carcinogens for now. And if you've got back pain, then Bear can help with that too. 79% of people who bought their mattress from Bear said that they saw an improvement in their back pain after sleeping on it. If you're worried about the whole buying a mattress sight unseen aspect, which is totally fair, they offer a free 120-day trial period to make sure it's right for you, and if it's not, then you just send it back. So if you're interested in checking Bear out, it's a really good time because they're running a President's Day sale right now. If you head to bearmattress.com/settheedge and use code SETTHEEDGE, you can get a full 40% off your mattress and also 2 free pillows. It's a better offer than their normal sale if you head to that link in the description and use that code SETTHEEDGE. That's me. So do make sure if you're interested, get that full 40% off and those 2 free pillows. That's a great deal. I'd like to give one last huge thank you to Bear Mattress, and we're going to place Bear in the S tier for sponsoring my video.
I am disgusting.
I've got enough to beat Gare.
Ew.
Keep playing, boys. The Hawks.
Yes,
smooth
it's the
change.
worst
Gonna be a
game
first
I've
round in
ever
Seattle.
played in
Keep
my
going.
life.
Alright, this might take a little context. So after the MANNINGCAST and Nick broadcasts were smash successes out of the box, TV executives thought they'd found an infinite money glitch. When Amazon took over Thursday Night Football in 2022, their first idea was to poach the MANNINGCAST for themselves, but when that failed, they instead debuted 3 altcasts of their own that very first season. Let's start with the weirdest one. In all likelihood, you're probably already familiar with Dude Perfect, the comedy trickshot group out of Texas. They've been dominating YouTube since I was a kid, and if you're confused on why they're so popular, just look at this. Hell yeah. But the question wasn't, can Dude Perfect be entertaining? It was, can you take the energy from a trick shot montage and stretch it out over a 3-hour live broadcast?
Ball's coming. It's good. It's good. Oh, this is perfect.
When did we institute this?
Catch it.
Watch this.
The answer is no. Listen, I know this is intended for families and not for me, but just on an objective level, the Dude Perfect cast is really, really hard to watch. I mean, it is physically difficult to pay attention to.
They're just like flies over there.
There's a lot going on right now.
Where other altcasts will rely on the game as their central focus, Dude Perfect cycles through challenges and mini-games that are basically like direct counter-programming. It's as if their goal is to come up and wave their hands in your face so you can't watch the football game, but it does still count for ratings because it's technically there on the screen.
Keep playing, boys. Massive third down coming here.
Am I supposed to watch the game or the bull riding laser show? Also, what's third down? I'm 7 years old. Some of the challenges tie into things in the game, like you guess whether it's a run or a pass, and if you get it wrong, they shoot you in the head with a paint cannon. But it just ends up less than the sum of all its parts. If you're there for the game, good luck. If you're there for Dude Perfect, then they've got a whole channel of better content for you. The Dude Perfect Altcast did 6 different games over 2 seasons, but it did not come back for 2024, so we've probably seen the last of it. And for as much as it would gut the younger version of me if he ever found out, we gotta put the Dude Perfect cast in the F tier.
Oh my God, that was... This alternate thing is brutal.
I'm gonna introduce you to Defensive Alert, a feature only on Prime Vision with Next Gen Stats.
Amazon has been partnered with the NFL's Next Gen Stats since well before they acquired the rights to Thursday Night Football, so it only made sense for them to find a way to mesh them eventually. The question was, how much of that do viewers actually want? You're telling me this play had a catch probability of 31.4% determined by all these factors? Well, gee, thank you, robot. Now I don't think it's cool at all. So to find that balance, Amazon has used an alternate Prime Vision cast as their testing grounds for a bunch of different AI features in real time. You get the same commentary team as the main feed, but on screen you're shown things like potential weak spots in the defense, which receivers are flashing open, or which defenders might be likely to rush, and some of these have been promoted to the main broadcast.
And you saw the alert, and the alert gets to him.
This particular altcast has evolved a ton. I remember checking it out when it first debuted, and it was really just the main broadcast with more clutter, but watching now, it is night and day.
Deep drop. Jackson surveys. Jackson fires. Caught. Touchdown.
Does the fact that almost everything is done by computers mean that there's sometimes way too much on the screen? Yes, but it's cool to have the option to watch them develop these tools in real time. So we're going to place Prime Vision up in the B tier.
I'm Sam Schwartzstein. I'll be with you here all night.
I think Coach McVay been looking at my playbook on Madden.
Now, bro, you know what they saying on Twitter right now. They say you be capping.
At first glance, it might seem like it makes no sense for an NBA player to be doing NFL broadcasts, but from the perspective of gaining viewers, it's got some potential. Because there are definitely people, grown men in fact, who would never watch Thursday Night Football on their own, but would watch LeBron James watch Thursday Night Football. That said, you probably didn't even know this existed. I didn't know it existed, because there were only 3 of these broadcasts done, and for one of them, LeBron appeared on Zoom for 1 quarter and then dipped.
He got speed.
Oh, wow.
He got speed.
Oh, wow. He can run.
Yeah, he got plenty of speed.
He can run, right?
He can run.
Plenty of speed.
LeBron seems to genuinely be a huge NFL fan, so it's not like he's phoning it in, but this is basically just muting your TV while the game is on and listening to a podcast. The issue with actually watching it is that it's double boxed in with a very dim set, so you're kind of looking at a whole lot of nothing all over the screen. Sometimes you're also listening to a whole lot of nothing.
Mount Rushmore, Philly.
Iverson.
That's the easy one.
That's beautiful. I'm going to go Dr. J.
Dawkins. All basketball players?
Also, this game is between Kansas City and Denver, so... Historically, the Thursday night slop fest is the ideal spot to have something entirely different to pay attention to, but unless you're really into one of the guests or just absolutely love LeBron, there just isn't much here for you. We'll put TNF in the shop in the D tier, rounding out a pretty mixed bag for Amazon's Altcast lineup.
Hey, don't worry about that, man. You the king, man.
The Falcons and Jaguars are playing at Wembley Stadium in London, and Andy has imagined this game happening with toys in his room.
Okay, you may notice we've made a little bit of a stylistic jump. The fully animated Altcast is a very recent invention, first debuting in 2023 with the NHL. But now, less than 2 years later, there have been 5 across 3 separate leagues, all of them spearheaded by tech company Beyond Sports. You know how after every referee controversy, people ask, why doesn't the NFL just put a chip in the ball and track its position? Well, it turns out they do. They just use it to make Toy Story. Obviously, all the tracking and real-time animation is really impressive from a technical standpoint, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend I understand it, but the biggest selling point for these leagues is that now you can give any live sports event an existing IP tie-in.
As we are calling the game live inside the Toy Story universe.
But the first question for something with this many moving parts is, how glitchy is this about to be?
Unless you're the coach of the Los Angeles Chargers, and he does it anywhere he wants to.
Trevor Lawrence under center, right behind his center, Luke Fortner. And it's 2 runs.
Man, the ball is going wherever it wants. Sometimes the camera angle is just comically far away. This player on the opening kickoff team is apparently not even in their system.
Would not miss this for the world.
Even for a broadcast aimed at children, it's still got to be somewhat watchable. So much of this was almost impossible to decipher if you didn't have the play-by-play telling you exactly what's going on. Speaking of the play-by-play, the Toy Story game really cemented for me that Altcasts can only go as far as their announcers can carry them. Drew Carter and Booger McFarland have a very difficult task, to say the least, but a lot of the time they're just doing a normal NFL call, and I'm sorry, I can't accept that if we're in Toy Story world.
Okuda's got good size at corner, 6'1", 205, defending the 6'3", 240-pound tight end, Evan Ingram.
Actually, Drew, he looks like he's about 4 inches tall and maybe half a pound at most. My overall feeling on the Toy Story broadcast now is still about the same as when I saw it live. One of those ideas that's really more impressive than it is good, and it's kind of hard to call it well executed. But hey, they took a big swing, and it did reportedly set a record for live viewers on Disney+. So we'll place the Toy Story broadcast in the C tier.
We appreciate your patience hanging with us through the technical difficulties.
Play clock down to 3. Simpson looking to throw. He floats it toward the end zone. Touch diddly down!
A little over a year after the Toy Story game, the fully animated Altcast made a return to bring The Simpsons to Monday Night Football. This game had so much work put into its pre-recorded content that the NFL was not able to flex a different matchup in. They were stuck with Cooper Rush. Considering this was a direct successor to that Toy Story game we just watched, you can kind of see the improvements instantly, right? The entire thing was smoother, there were way fewer glitches, and instead of Booger McFarland, they had Mina Kimes drop a Simpsons reference every 2.8 seconds.
This is what it feels like when doves cry, Millhouse!
A cool change was they were actually able to insert Simpsons characters onto the field. They'd put Bart or Homer at quarterback, they'd stick Lisa in at wide receiver. Whenever these substitutions happened, it was very obvious there was going to be a big play, but it does add a ton in making it actually stand apart from the normal broadcast.
And Bart Simpson takes the snap, throws to Ralph. Touchdown!
This game in particular is really easy to pull clips from because it's almost designed to produce 4 to 5 of these super viral plays. The thing is, the entire production totals over 3 hours long and has so much put into it to get it to that point. The original voice actors are involved, they did player interviews, there's dozens of cutaway gags, they even composed and recorded an entirely new arrangement of the Monday Night Football theme.
Both of the pieces are in different keys, they both have different tempos, and the pacing is different, and they both require different size orchestras.
I've pored over the Simpsons game until my brain is scrambled egg, and all I can come up with is, why? Yes, the tech is very impressive, and look, I like The Simpsons too, but let's be honest. In terms of the product on screen, we're talking about PS2 graphics and references from a show that hasn't been a cultural touchstone for at least a decade. If you were already a fan of The Simpsons and the NFL, then yeah, you hit the jackpot. But that kind of feels more like narrowing an audience than expanding it, if anything.
Yeah, if you had Ralph Wiggum in fantasy, congrats, and also, what is wrong with you?
All personal confusion aside, I'm very glad we got to see something as unhinged as this get made. And in terms of its polish, it is absolutely an improvement over that 2023 Toy Story game. Unquestionably, the most fever dream of all of these. So we're going to place the Simpsons cast at the top of the C tier.
Hey, it's only fair.
You mean I passed?
Just barely.
I passed!
This is the first EA Sports Madden NFL cast, Chiefs-Texans broadcast with Madden graphics, playbook, strategy.
This one does not confuse me. Once Altcast became mainstream, it was really only a matter of time before Madden was going to make that jump. The connection is direct, obviously, and there's tons of things you can do to cross over the two. Player ratings, play art, you can do video game recreations of real plays, And they did all the things that I just mentioned. The problem is everything was either really underbaked or just kinda awkward.
Play call is different. Come on, D. Come on, O.
Let's start here. What does it look like when you play a game of Madden? It looks like this, right? Okay, so if you are the MADDENCAST, whose express purpose is to look like the video game, why would you use a wide broadcast all-22 angle? It isn't like they don't have access to the Skycam, they switch to it all the time. Sometimes they even tease you with it, like, hey, do you recognize this? And then they switch it back. And it certainly doesn't help that this might be the most head-scratching commentary team I've ever seen assembled.
Come on, come on, come on.
Chad Ochocinco and Kurt Benkert are listed as an official ratings adjuster and Madden expert, respectively. You also have a third chair with a Madden championship winner and a fourth gentleman doing play-by-play. Only one of these people has any experience calling a game as far as I know, and he rarely even chimes in, probably because the main two have 24/7 live face cams on them that make it look like they're supposed to be carrying the whole broadcast.
Now look, if I'm the Texans, my #1 defensive adjustment here, just go line up, yeah.
For a first broadcast, they were absolutely hung out to dry. I mean, look at this setup, man. Why are the chairs so tiny? Why they gotta stick this dude in a corner by himself? What is he gonna contribute from over there? Kurt Benkert is really trying very hard to make this work, and he probably does about 80% of both play-by-play and color commentary, which sounds exhausting. On the whole, there was a high ceiling here, but the execution was just so bland, I wouldn't be surprised if even the people that watched it forgot it existed. That tie-in to Madden is still so direct, I would not be surprised to see them take another crack at this, but if they do, that presentation and whole dynamic really are gonna need a second look. For now, we're gonna place the MADDENCAST in the D tier.
Oh, they're trying to, I can't say that, never mind.
Okay, well there's the full list. That's gonna wrap up our leisurely stroll through every dedicated NFL Altcast up to this point. But now that we've seen them evolve, for better and worse, what have we learned for the future? Well, first golden rule. You need to have something unique to bring to the table that isn't just a famous name or franchise alone. For all the Altcasts near the top of the list, you can instantly pinpoint a tangible reason someone would watch without saying a name or brand. Nickelodeon makes the game accessible to younger audiences. Prime Vision or the MANNINGCAST provide insights or stories that the main broadcast does not. If the best thing you're coming with is Madden is popular, so we added the buttons, or kids love Dude Perfect, so here's Dude Perfect, then you're already kind of fighting an uphill battle. Golden rule number 2, live commentary is difficult, and you can't expect just anybody to pull it off. I mentioned it a couple times, but Altcasts, or really any broadcast, is only as good as its announcers, and it's not a coincidence that the Altcasts are almost ranked step for step with how I'd rank their commentary teams. Even in an odd scenario like the MANNINGCAST, where it kind of seemed like ESPN just got super lucky, both brothers still had years of prior media experience to go along with their talent. I obviously find this whole trend pretty fascinating for the simple fact that there's a lot of creative risk involved, and even if they don't always work out, I can still appreciate that. I know this is kind of a niche topic, but there are a lot more Altcasts outside the NFL sphere, so if there's any interest, I wouldn't be opposed to diving in further someday. For now though, I want to thank you for coming along for the ride and let you know I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Until next time, make sure you go get some fresh air, stretch those legs, take care.